Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime Symbol, and today I'm going to be giving you part 4 of What If Naruto Was Betrayed and his true self locked away. Remember to get this one to 100 likes as usual. Share this to all of your friends on your social media platform. And also guys, don't forget to go ahead and check out part 3 of What If Naruto Became the Vessel of a God over on Anime King 3. And I also post a brand new episode of What If Naruto Was the Reincarnation of Gilgamesh, so go ahead, check out that and enjoy as well guys. And remember, if you're new and this is the first time you hear my voice, yes, I indeed have 4 channels which I post What If on every single day for you guys to enjoy, so go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and your support. So without further ado or wasting more time, how about we jump right into this, shall we? Let's begin now guys. So, the last part we left off, Tsunade Senju had returned back to the Hidden Leaf, as Jiraiya had been there to fight by her side when Orochimaru had attacked. Orochimaru almost ended the life of Shizune as he proceeded to attack them. Kabuto was also there as well, to attack Shizune as well. However, Jiraiya came there just in time to help her. After their battle, when the Sannin decided to flee, Jiraiya had stayed for a while, and the man looked completely broken. Something was not right, she could tell. As he told her what happened, it wasn't only Sensei's death that was upon him, it was the death of the young boy known as Naruto Uzumaki. Tsunade, she didn't know why, but she decided to return with him and take the mantle as Hokage. However, she found something rather strange. It was a letter from Hiruzen himself. It was to the next Hokage of Konoha if anything were to happen to him. It was about Naruto and what he did. Jiraiya was shocked when he found out about this. Shocked that Sensei would do something like this. However, Tsunade got a crazy theory that perhaps the boy was not dead. But that was impossible, right? They all saw him fall, he was dead. Soon after, Sasuke Uchiha decided to flee this village. As he left, Naruto had spoken to the Sannin and they made a deal. There was an island that Orochimaru had discovered some time ago. This island was strange. Even broad daylight inside was always dark. It was also tainted with something that he called dark chakra. Something that he could not harness, and that was very upsetting to him, as Naruto was the one to stay here. Orochimaru posted 2 guards there. However, 3 years passed by and Naruto had only came out twice in that time. Guren had came there as she was the one to report to him back. The guards were terrified as they felt a very violent power emerge. However, the guards were not the only one. The Great Elder Toad that has been here since the Sage of Six Paths. He had came across a lot in his time on this planet. He knew of something called the Dark Sage. A very dark, malevolent darkness that had consumed someone in the past. You had regular sage energy and you had dark sage energy that could only be tampered with by those with the darkest of hearts. As no one since decades now had been able to harness such power. However, he was afraid that this power came back into play, and he had a vision that Jiraiya was involved. Whatever this was, it was very dangerous, and he needed to find a way to put a stop to it. Returning back to the village, Tsunade was concerned that Naruto was involved with this. From what the Toad had told Jiraiya about his involvement with this dark energy, perhaps it was Naruto. The evidence was piling up more and more, but Jiraiya refused to believe it, refusing to believe that that boy who he came to know had tempered down the path of darkness. We then came across said boy, training within the dark forest. 3 years has passed, so he had grown greatly. As a great battle was taking place. Yes, Orochimaru experiments were in there, and they were being cut down one after another. While that was taking place, Team 7, as Kakashi and Sakura along with Team 10. Well, Team 7 wasn't a thing anymore. The group had headed towards the land of Wind. Temari was kidnapped, as they wanted the information on the One Tails. No one knew what happened to the One Tails. Along with Guy and Kakashi, they were able to defeat Sasori, but not before. Sasori gave Sakura some information. Upon her being a part of the group that ended his life along with Chiyo, it turns out that Orochimaru was going to be meeting soon. And Orochimaru's spy, yes, he knew everything, as he told her. In 10 days, Deidara had fled. So in 10 days, another group was sent. Sasuke, they were trying to get information about him. Kakashi was sent along with Yamato was sent there as well. Along with Team 8 and Sakura as well. They were all sent. It turns out that the spy was Kabuto. Gurren had came here, as she had came to the location to be informed by the Sound Ninjas that Orochimaru headed out. She told Orochimaru about Naruto leaving. The Sannin had quickly went off, leaving the group behind. So the two took on the Konoha ninjas, but it soon became too overwhelming for them, so they had to leave. Team 8, Kakashi, Yamato, and Sakura was there. They were able to follow them because of Yamato using a wood clone, as they came to the base and started to search. Someone else was there though. His name was Sai. Sai was the one in the background Danzo had offered to put him on a team. So now they decided to use him as a extra precaution. He was in the background, prepared to help and prepared to strike down at any moment notice. For unknown reasons, them Sai had caused an explosion. When they arrived, they saw Sasuke was standing, looking down towards them. They were rather shocked, as Kiba was pissed off that Sasuke was being so nonchalant, given the fact that all of them risked their life years ago to try and bring him back, and most of them were gravely wounded. As Sasuke decided to show them that he was no longer allied with the village, he was going to end Kiba's life. However, his hand was grabbed by someone. Everyone was shocked. The person proceeded to take Kiba's head off without hesitation, shocking everyone more so. It was a truly sobering realization. So yeah guys, basically that's where I left off. You guys can switch across the place, check out for yourself. So to begin this new episode, his head slowly hit the ground as his blood sprayed on his own partner. His white fur was stained with his partner's blood. Akamaru was shocked. You could see it in the poor dog's expression as he watched his longtime partner head collapse. Not only was the Konoha ninja shocked, even Sasuke Uchiha was startled as well, confused, wondering if he was seeing a ghost, truly wondering if this was reality or if it was false. It has to be false, correct? It couldn't be real, right? As he released Sasuke's hand, Akamaru struck without hesitation, baring his fangs, intending on biting right through the person. Big mistake. The dog was split in half, right down the center. Bugs, countless insects rose. A furious Shino Aberme lashed out. Seeing everyone just frozen, pissed him off as he watched Kiba's head fell. The bugs swarmed him, intending on sucking him dry. However, to everyone's shock, also Shino's, the bugs started to drop, their whole body being consumed by a strange darkness, black smoke leaving their form. as their entire form seemed to just be destroyed from the inside out. What the hell? A whole platoon of his bugs were wiped out, just after trying to suck his chakra. What just happened? Wooden vines erupted from the earth and gripped onto his arms and legs before they slammed him down, forcing him to his knees. They held him there, and everyone was able to take a good look. His hair was more spiky and wild, but it flew behind him, not so long though. He was wearing what seemed to be a leather. The shirt was made from a very tough leather material. It was unzipped at the front, as it was not fully closed, exposing his upper chest that had become very muscular. To believe that he had reached such height in just 3 years, standing taller than all of them now. He was wearing dark pants and strange boots on his feet. There was no weapon on him, none at all. Nothing else, except for a cloak wrapped around his waist that went down towards the back of his knees, that was now on the ground. He had a smile on his face, exposing his fangs that had grew large, but not so much to poke out of his mouth. It was him, the one they thought died 3 years ago. Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. Hinata couldn't believe it. Kakashi, isn't that... Yes. Kakashi said quickly, as all the attention was taken off Sasuke for a moment. Yamato had bind Naruto. How are you alive? Kakashi said, as he did not even want to question what Naruto just did just yet. Oh, that. Well, you see, that's a long story. Hiruzen was a very smart man, I presume. His fear of the future probably had him leave behind a note for the new Hokage. Why don't you ask the Hokage of your village? Naruto! Sakura screamed. We all thought you were dead. How could you? Look what you did to Kiba! Are you out of your mind? She screamed at him, tears in her eyes, seeing the two that she thought that she lost, but now they were alive. But he killed Kiba. How could he do something like that? Kiba was one of them. He was a part of their group. How could he do that? Kakashi noticed the look on Sasuke's face. He was also surprised, not expecting this in the slightest. Sai placed his blade at Naruto's throat. Stop, Yamato said. We should bring him in. He's an enemy of the village, who just eliminate one of our own. Shouldn't we dispose of him? Sai asked calmly. He's right. Kurenai spoke up. You could see the hate in her eyes. We can't allow him to get off on any technicalities. He deserved to die, she said. Look what he did. Both Kiba and Akamaru lie dead on the ground. I understand what you're feeling, Kurenai, Kakashi said, stepping forward, but we need to bring him in. Something is not right here and we have him. He will get a proper trial and, if it comes down to it, he will be executed for his actions. Fleeing the village and killing a Konoha ninja. Kakashi kept his turned stone as Sakura eyes widened. As much as she wanted to say something new to just kill Kiba right in front of them. Oi, Sasuke, you seem to have gotten a lot stronger, said Naruto. That's good. I suppose in what I'm going to do, you won't be a problem. Actually, you'll be an asset in what I need. As the group realized that Sasuke was still right there. Kakashi, Sakura said, we're bringing them both in. Kakashi said as he looked towards Yamato. They turned their focus on Yamato when they heard it, the creaking of the wood. Yamato started to sweat. No, this isn't. Stop. Or else, Sai said, ready to slit Naruto's throat right open. You can't kill me. None of you can. You don't possess the power to. Besides, I think this was a good enough reunion. I just came here to see the Uchiha, not you guys. Killing him was just something fun to do. Kunai immediately pulled out her most dangerous genjutsu. With Naruto bound, she hit him right on, intending to cause him great mental pain to make him suffer. However, he shrugged it off. Kunai was shocked as he simply shrugged it off like it was nothing. Before boom, Sai swung the blade. However, Naruto bit it like an animal, tearing through solid steel with just his teeth. He was now free as he spun. Naruto slammed his fist into Sai's gut, rupturing a few of his organs. Blood spewed from Sai's mouth as some of his ribs crashed. Sai was sent sailing as he slammed into the opposite wall. Kakashi came in with a brutal right, intending on knocking Naruto down. However, instead of dodging, Naruto allowed it to hit. His fist slammed right into Naruto's face. Without hesitation, the force was brutal. However, Naruto did not budge. Sakura saw her opportunity. His back was turned. She had to do something. She had to at least knock him out. Someone was messing with his mind. She told herself this could not be Naruto as she jumped, enhancing her fist with chakra just like Lady Sned taught her. The force should be enough to knock him out. However, he spun and caught her hand. The ground underneath him erupted, showing the force that he sent down by catching her fists. However, his knees did not buckle, or did he bend? He gripped her wrist and twirled her and threw her right into Kakashi. Kakashi caught her and jumped away, as Yamato released dozens of planks from the ground that shoot upwards, their mobility being like a snake, with the intention to wrap Naruto around. However, Naruto vanished within a second. He simply blurred away. What happened was a pressure hitting every single Konoha ninja. They were all slammed back by an unseen force, none of them knowing exactly what happened, as Naruto landed right beside Sasuke. Sasuke, who was standing there watching. "What took you so long?" he said. He wasn't talking to Sasuke though as Orochimaru arrived on the scene. As the Konoha ninjas started to pull themselves up. "What the hell was that?" Kakashi said, holding on to his chest. "I heard that you decided to leave. Why come here though? Why not come straight to me? I thought I would reintroduce myself to society, starting with the Konoha ninjas. Had to make a little name for myself," said Naruto, as he pointed down towards the corpse of Kiba. "You knew about this," Sasuke said, looking towards the Sanin. "Ah, yes. But we will discuss that later." The ground cracked under Naruto's feet as Sai emerged. His blade was trying to strike through Naruto's chin and burst through his skull. Sai was not hesitating with his attacks. Seems like he had two blades, given the fact that Naruto bit through the other one earlier. Sai was not looking so well. Blood was coming from his mouth, and you could see in his body signs that he was heavily damaged. Naruto tilted his head back as his gaze fixated on Sai. Naruto had lashed out and gripped him by the throat. He gripped the arm and twisted it, breaking the wrist. Sai raised his fist and drove it in Naruto's chest. To his shock though and surprise, Naruto did not budge. "Is that all the strength you can muster?" said Naruto. He waved his hand as Sai released a blood-curdling scream. His right hand chopped off, as Naruto was holding on to the other, and his other hand holding his throat. He started to squeeze the living daylight out of Sai. The others tried to emerge and jump forward, Kakashi charging up a lightning blade, ready to strike Naruto down, at least wound him in a way where they could bring him back. He was still not going for the kill, and that was his mistake. However, before he could reach, Naruto snapped Sai's neck as he simply jumped away. Kakashi hit an ear. Sai's body collapsed to the ground lifeless. "How about we leave?" said Naruto. "I presume that was enough to make my mark." "I'll be seeing you all soon," he said. With a simple wave of his hand, the entire platform came caving in. Everything came falling down on them, boulders and stone. Yamato quickly flashed Yuan sign to protect the group, as Kakashi was the only one above standing there. "I won't allow you to leave," he said. His gaze was focused on Naruto more so than anyone else. Sasuke did not seem to be on his mind at the moment, despite the fact the original mission was to bring Sasuke back. "Sorry, Sensei," Naruto said, "but you don't possess the power enough to hold me, let alone bring me back. After all." The transition between his words were just so soft, despite the fact that he was now behind Kakashi. As you can see, we're no longer on the same level. Kakashi stood there surprised that Naruto was able to get behind him. His speed was something that baffled him. Was this it? Was he going to die here, he thought to himself, knowing that he didn't have enough time to spin around. We'll have a proper conversation later. Kakashi spun, but Naruto was gone. He simply vanished. He looked over as Sasuke and Orochimaru was also gone as well. He quickly rushed towards the cave-in. However, the stones were being pushed aside and thrown away, as it opened to show that Yamato had protected all those alive with a wooden barrier. Kakashi stood there looking at him, the man himself not knowing what to make of what they just went up against. They were still in shock. Time skip. "I suppose you have a lot of questions," said Naruto. Sasuke looked at him. "How are you alive?" The Sannin was nearby. "I'll tell you everything that you need to know, but let me ask you something," said Naruto. "Do you believe that you're strong enough to kill Itachi now?" "What?" "That has to be your goal," said Naruto. "After all he's taken away from you, why else would you sell yourself to the Sannin? So tell me, do you believe that you're strong enough?" "Not that it concerns you, but I will find him, and I will kill him," Sasuke said. "Good," said Naruto. "That means you no longer need him." Orochimaru narrowed his gaze as Naruto said those words. The Sannin jumped away. Good timing though, as his body was almost eviscerated by a nasty wind attack that ripped the land asunders. Sasuke was surprised by this. "You don't need him anymore, Sasuke. All he is now is a hindrance. Besides, I've been looking forward to this. I've wanted to test my power against someone strong for a couple of months now." The Sannin snarled at Naruto. "Think what you're doing, child," he said. "This is a mistake that you cannot come back from. So think carefully on what you're doing. Because if you didn't remember, I was the one that created you." "Ah, yes. You give me the location where I trained," said Naruto. "However, you have nothing on this. And besides, you're the strongest one that I can find now to test how strong I've become," Naruto said, as he started to bounce on the ball of his heel. "So how about it? Are you ready to die?" Orochimaru was not happy. Not in the slightest. You could see the look on his face. He was fuming. "You insignificant, small, betraying enough. I'm not here for a long monologue or anything from you. Hey, Sasuke, stay out of this, okay?" Sasuke did not make a move to enter the battle. He too was believing that he no longer needed the Sannin. Sasuke would never allow Orochimaru to take his body Never. However, Naruto was bringing up a lot of questions now. It wasn't just his behavior. He was like a completely different person. Sasuke was shocked as the two moved. They clashed. He knew that Orochimaru had grown weaker. The time was coming for him to take a host very soon. Sasuke would never allow him to take over his body. After all, that was not in his plans. His goal was to kill Itachi, not to become some vessel for the snake. After all, he was playing him the entire time, using him to get what he wanted, until he was strong enough so that he could strike back against him. And now, Sasuke watches the both of them move with such ferocity as they were destroying the place. The Sannin swung at Naruto's head as Naruto ducked under the blow and dressed back. Orochimaru's snake shot from his sleeve and wrapped around Naruto's arm. Naruto gripped into the snakes, tearing into their flesh as he yanked them forward, pulling the Sannin before he backhanded him. Blood flying from the Sannin's mouth as Naruto spun and kicked him in his side. Orochimaru bounced as he dropped. He skidded as he flipped to his feet. Naruto was in front of him, pushing off the ground with his wing technique just like before, but now it was at least 10 times faster. A brutal kick snapped the Sannin's head to the right as Naruto slammed his fist in his gut. However, the punch was not the force, what followed was the force. Orochimaru was sent spiraling as he viciously crashed into a wall. The Sannin jumped out of the way as Naruto's fist turned the wall into dust. His strength had gotten so ridiculous. Orochimaru says he got back to his feet. His body was limited in the things that he could do already. Fighting someone of his level right now was not a good idea, but he had to suppress him. He had to right now. Naruto shot forward as Orochimaru allowed him. He bent his body like a snake. He then proceeded to shot a snake from its mouth that opened its mouth and release a purple gas right into Naruto's face. Naruto inhaled all the smoke before he staggered backwards. Orochimaru regurgitated his Kusanagi as he thrust, as he was about to plunge it within Naruto's chest. Not through his heart though. The Sannin didn't want him dead. He was going to use him for his experiments. However, to his absolute shock, Naruto twisted out of the way and gripped his wrists. He snapped his eyes open, shocking Orochimaru as Naruto smiled. That is when Orochimaru noticed purple smoke coming out of his shirt. He did not inhale it. He used his wind manipulation like a funnel and sent it through his clothing. The Sannin was shocked as Naruto had him gripped. My turn. Naruto thrust his fist 5 times as he refused to release Orochimaru. Brutal punches. Naruto broke his face in. Orochimaru had no choice but to burst out of his own mouth. He tried to flee, but Naruto gripped into his lower half that was of a snake, his fingers tearing into flesh. He pulled him off the ground like he was some kind of bat and slammed him face first into the earth. Sasuke was startled by Naruto's strength. What in the world? Naruto kicked him across the entire clearing. The Sannin crashed hard, puking up blood as he did so. He picked himself up as he wiped his mouth, as Naruto held on to his Kusanagi blade. He held it in his hand as he pointed towards him. Naruto pumped the thing with chakra as the blade extended, shooting toward the Sannin as he jumped out of the way. However, Naruto spun with it, showing such force as he spun with the giant blade. Orochimaru was bisected at the waist. Naruto dropped the blade and jumped. The Sannin quickly, though, reattached his lower half to his top half. Seeing Naruto coming, this was time. Orochimaru was unable to use his ninjutsu. However, his snakes were still there to immobilize Naruto. However, to his shock though, Naruto stopped himself in mid-air. His wind manipulation was on such a level that he was able to stop himself right in mid-air. Orochimaru was not expecting that. As Naruto cracked his heel under his chin, Naruto gripped his throat. Before he could fly away, he held his hand out before he pushed it directly through the Sanin's chest and ripped it back out, blood covering his arm. Orochimaru once again regurgitated himself, this time though he was running away. To his shock though, Naruto passed him and slammed his hand under his chin. To his neck, he lifted him off the ground and plunged him into the earth. The Sanin realized something. He wasn't a prey, he was a predator. As Naruto stood over him snarling with his fangs on display, he picked the Sanin up as Orochimaru performed a secret attack. He lashed out as he bit Naruto in the neck, soaking his fangs with chakra as he bit him in the neck, pumping his chakra into Naruto's system as he tried to use it to manipulate his mind. It was similar to Genjutsu, but in a way, he would be manipulating and controlling his mind in a more connection fashion, because he was touching him, well, more biting him to be quite exact. You know, if someone were to take a better look at this, they would find it quite disturbing. A man of your age, biting down on a young man like myself. Orochimaru was shocked, as his chakra was not going against the boy's chakra. Something was wrong. Orochimaru pulled back. Something was wrong. He started to spit violently. He felt like acid was being poured down his throat. I'm afraid that my chakra is no longer normal, said Naruto. Before you die, how about I show you a little taste? Naruto held his hand out and clenched his fists. Orochimaru felt it. Sasuke, who was moving towards the scene, felt it. Sasuke came to a stop. Sasuke felt something vile in his stomach. The sensation in the ear made him want to puke. It felt like death. Twisted, corrupted, death. Sasuke quickly made his way over to the scene, only to find Naruto standing above the Sanin. However, Naruto was in the process of tearing Orochimaru's head clean off with his bare hands. As his foot was in his back, Naruto ripped as he tore the head off. Despite that, the Sanin did not die just yet. However, Sasuke did notice that Orochimaru had a gaping hole in his chest and his right arm was blown clean off, and his left side was ripped out. Naruto stepped toward the Sanin's head. The bottom of his head, where his neck was. Snakes tried to emerge from there. God damn it. You're one tough son of a bitch to kill, aren't you? Said Naruto as he walked over. He then stomped and stomped and stomped and stomped and stomped and stomped. He literally stomped the life right out of the Sanin until it was blood and guts, brain matter on the bottom of his boots. He then turned in a friendly manner towards Uchiha. Come on, Sasuke, he said. There's something I have to pick up. We'll talk along the way, so you can find out what is going on. I'm sure you're dying to understand. Sasuke did not trust Naruto, not in the slightest. Whoever this was not the Naruto that was on Team 7. This was a person that looked like him and sounds like him, but completely different. Far, far from that Naruto. As far as he was concerned, that Naruto died. On that day, this was a different person entirely. Time skip. Kakashi Hatake and the group had returned. Tsunade was told she was not that surprised. She was surprised that he was there, but she told Jiraiya about this. She immediately sent word for him to return back to the village. She knew it. They would be having a service for the fallen. Sai's body was not brought back because it had erupted in flames. moments after his death, as all that remained was ashes. When Naruto had snapped his neck and his body fell, Kakashi's interruption did not allow them to focus on that. It was a seal that was placed on him, so that no one could find out any secret if they kill one of his operatives. However, Kiba Inuzaka died on this mission. Sakura was shocked, unable to explain with reasons that this was even possible. Not only was Naruto alive, but him and Sasuke were now together, and Naruto killed Kiba. He also killed Sai and Akamaru as well. She did not believe that was Naruto. Maybe it was just an imposter. She saw Naruto died all those years ago, right? Well, she did not see his corpse afterwards, but still, the sand had been the one to bury it, but no one found it. All of her reasons were being disproven right now, and she hated that. She hated the fact that this person came and ruined everything. Right when they were just about to get Sasuke come back, she was gonna make him pay because that was not Naruto. It was an imposter, trying to use him to hurt them. Tsunade sat in the office with Kakashi. Kakashi was demanding answers. This was very stressful on him. He thought that he buried his student a long time ago, and he was here searching for the other. Tsunade put Kakashi within the loop. He already knew the appearance of Naruto, so Tsunade did not want to tell the others just yet. She didn't want to sully the name of Minato and Kushina by revealing to the world who Naruto's parents were and what their child has brought forward. The Inuzakas were not going to be happy. Not at all. She had to put Naruto within the bingo book as a traitor of the leaf and one that killed one of its own. She had to. Time skip. Sasuke Uchiha was currently on the hunt for his teammates. As for the Naruto situation, well, that was really strange. Flashback. As the both of them sit down with one another. They had been to a base that Sasuke did not even know about. In that base, Naruto retrieved a scroll. A titanic scroll, the largest that Sasuke has ever seen. He did not tell him what was sealed inside. Sasuke did not care much for that though. He wanted to know how Naruto was alive. Naruto had killed majority of the people without hesitation, and the others, he told them that Orochimaru was dead and he claimed his life. For them to tell the others. They then left. So, how am I alive? Well, Sasuke, you see, it's rather simple. I fake my death. Why? The Uchiha said. Why do something like that? Like you, I believe the village was holding me back. It was unable to help me reach my true potential, so I faked my death. And I went on a vacation, if you would call it that. Away from it all. A way to enhance my strength. Given the fact that you were able to witness my battle with the Sannin, I'm sure that you can see that it was worth it. However, that is not really important. What is important is you. I presume you have a plan to kill Itachi. Yes, I do. And what is the first step of that plan? Sasuke narrowed his gaze towards Naruto. Come on now, aren't we friends? Naruto said. You did save my life that once, jumping in front of Haku weapon. As much as you think that you don't know me right now, it's still me, Naruto said rather calmly. Sasuke did not trust him, but he decided to tell him something. I'm going to create a group. Ah, fantastic. I want to be a part of that group. Why? Sasuke asks. Why do you even want to help me? What can I say? I think I owe you one. I never truly repay you for what you did that day. And besides, I think I'm finished with my training now, and I just want to test myself. To tell you the truth, I don't really have a plan. I'm not sure what I'm even doing at all. So how about it? Let me join your little group, and let's travel until we find this Itachi. And then you can kill him. Who knows what happened after that? I don't even know myself. End of flashback. Sasuke did not trust Naruto, not at all, but he was keeping an eye on him. But he can't afford to lose a strength like this. Because Naruto was strong and strangely enough, he was allowing him to take order. Sasuke thought that he would try to come in and control everything, but so far, no. They gather Suigetsu. Sasuke had marked him a long time ago to be a part of his group. When he first joined Orochimaru, Suigetsu was a weapon nut, as he wanted to collect all the 7 ninja swordsmen blades. Naruto remembered that Zabuza was still alive. Him and Haku had survived and left. He wondered where they were now. Naruto gave Suigetsu Orochimaru blade. He had no use for it. Suigetsu found it quite nice. Not to mention it could elongate. And it also possessed a very deadly poison. Suigetsu liked this guy already. With that they headed off, as they went to find a girl. Her name was Karin. She was a great censor, a very powerful one. Everything was going well. Well, not so well. Prisoners were hearing rumors that Orochimaru was dead. So Karin was having them killed and buried within the yard. However, on this very day, something happened. Karin was a great censor. She could sense it the moment it arrived. She could feel Sasuke-kun, the one that she loved so much, from the first time she laid eyes on him. She could also feel that pompous ass Suigetsu. She hated him. However, Karin dropped to her knees as she felt bile rise in her throat. She was about to puke, and she did. Karin's whole body was trembling in fear. She was able to get a good look at what else they were traveling with. What was this? Some kind of demon god? It couldn't be human. It couldn't be only demon. It must be some sort of god mixed with a demon. Power so dark yet so great. Corrupted and twisted. It felt like it was tearing at her mind, her senses. She had to quickly cancel her technique. Karin ran. She ran and made her way. Arrived into a room where there was a massive steel door. As she sealed it off, she stood inside trying to catch her breath. Afraid. However, there was a knock. Damn it, they were so fast. That is when the Kusanagi tore right through the steel door. Suigetsu proceeded to slice the thing up. As the pieces fell, her eyes quickly looked at each and every one of them and fell on him. He looked handsome for someone that is that corrupted and dark. Karin watched as Sasuke stepped forward. The other blonde that she did not know. She didn't have the faintest idea who Naruto was, as Naruto's identity was mostly kept a secret. Only a select few knew that he came with Orochimaru. Gurin was one of them. The Sound 4 was dead. And those 2 ninjas did not know who he was exactly, but they saw his face, so yes. The only one that was alive that knew about him was Gurin and Kabuto. The others were all dead. As they proceeded to talk, Naruto simply walked away. Suigetsu following him, leaving the 2 of them. "So what's your deal?" said Suigetsu. "I know the reason I'm joining. What about you?" Naruto shrugged his shoulders. "I have nothing else better to do. And me and Sasuke are good friends." "What kind of friend would you be if you can't help a friend achieve his goal?" "I suppose you're right. And that makes you a pretty cool guy in my book," said Suigetsu. "Thanks," said Naruto. Karin was in love with Sasuke, despite her fear of this other guy. She told Sasuke what she felt when she sensed him. That made Sasuke even more suspicious, but he had a good eye kept on Naruto. Karin decided to accompany them. "Ah, love left you to join us," said Naruto, as he extended his hand. "Naruto Uzumaki," he said. Karin was shocked. "Oh, did you just say Uzumaki?" "Yes." "Why?" he asked. "Oh, no reason," she said. "I just thought I heard that before." "I'm Karin," she said. She decided to keep the fact that she was a Uzumaki to herself, despite the fact that Naruto already knew who she was. He didn't spend the entire 3 years within the forest. He left on numerous occasions. It's just that Orochimaru did not know. No one knew when he left. And of course he had a plan. 3 years of nothing? That would be a waste. So who's next? We're going after Jugo. Why him? He's the worst of the worst. He's a psychopath. I'm not sure that you will be able to convince him. Karen said. This guy that they were with was dark, but Jugo was crazy. I have my reasons. Well, there you have it, said Naruto. There's no change in his mind now, so let's just get going. Time skip. At Konoha, Jiraiya sat in the couch. The man was truly beside himself. Kakashi confirms it. The funeral for Kiba had been a very mournful one. Kiba had made a lot of friends. Majority of his family was there, his mom, his older sister, who wanted revenge for their own. They wanted to find and gut this Naruto Uzumaki. The others were perplexed and shocked when they found out about Naruto. They couldn't believe it. Neji was shocked to hear that it was the one that defeated him within the exam. As he remembered their battle, he was surprised. Everyone thought that he was dead, but no, he was alive. Sakura was being cheered up by Ino as she realized that she would be in a depressed state after finding out all of this. And she was back with Jiraiya. I can't believe it, he said. All this time he was tricking me. I thought, it's alright. Whoever this kid is, he's a monster. From the reports, he did not hesitate to kill those two, despite the fact that he literally grew up with them. Even if his memories were kept away, he's still the person that grew up with them in the academy. But it seems that that doesn't mean anything to him. His name will be going within the book, I know. But I am going to try to find him. And what will you do then? If it's too bad, I'll do what I have to, said Jiraiya. You don't have to, she said to him. I can get someone else. You're not the only one that has to suffer with this burden. I'm his godfather. I wasn't there for him for his earlier childhood. But I will be damned if I just sit by and watch as his life goes to hell without putting an end to it. If he's gone too far, if he truly is the one that is connected with this dark sage, he's already lost. And I have to do what the toads told me, without putting emotions in it, said Jiraiya. Snathy released a breath. Be careful, she said. Come on now, he said. When have you known me to not be careful? I'm serious. We don't know the limits of his strength or how strong he's gotten. He looked towards her as his face was serious. I'll come back, he said to her. You better, she said to him. As Jiraiya said his goodbyes and left, through the window as usual, she turned as she watched him leave, hopping from building to building. She knew that this was something that he would not hesitate to do. She released a breath. Why must all these situations be so difficult, she thought to herself. Time skip. These ones are different, said Naruto. As there was a bunch of monsters. Experiments, failed experiments. They were crazy. Naruto stepped forward as one of them tried to attack him. Suigetsu was surprised by the speed that Naruto moved with. Man, I had no idea that you were that fast, he said, as Naruto cut down the two of them without hesitation, that were behind Suigetsu now. So where do we go, Suigetsu asked. That way, Karen said. Alright, let's go. As they made their way down the hall, Naruto was strangely smiling as he looked towards her. Karen blinked in confusion. Could he know that I'm lying? She thought to herself. Suigetsu did not even look behind him as he kept on talking. As Naruto walked beside him, Suigetsu then paused. Where are the others? Oh, she tricked us. I presume. She wanted to spend some time with Sasuke. He was always really popular with the ladies. That conniving, little... A distance away. Why did you do that? So you and I can find Jugo by ourselves. We don't need them, Sasuke-kun. I told you before. Suigetsu is an airhead. And an idiot. We don't need him at all. However, that other one, Naruto, I think we should leave him here and stop making him follow us. Why do you feel the incisive need to say that he's so much of a threat despite the fact that he's done nothing but helped? Sasuke was not. Given her statement, it was actually a question, because he himself was uncertain about Naruto's motives. I can feel it, Sasuke-kun. His intentions towards you or us is unusually pure though. Or perhaps he's found a way to even trick my senses. You're one of the best censor I know. Hearing that caused her cheeks to turn red. I doubt you would be able to trick your senses. So maybe his intentions to us is not one of death. Perhaps you're right, she said. Maybe. As she still seemed uncertain, but there's just something that is festering, something dark inside of him. It's just too dark. She released a breath. Anyway, we're here. Meanwhile, a collision could be heard as both Naruto and Suigetsu made their way. When they saw Sasuke, he had dodged. Yes, he had dodged. Jugo. As Naruto gazed at the psychopath. Time skip. The organization known as the Akatsuki was grouped up. Naruto killing Orochimaru had been spread around the elemental nation. Naruto Uzumaki, the holder of the 9 tails, that is what he told them to spread. Right now, the leader of the organization was speaking to each of the members. Naruto was with this group. Their intention was to capture the 9 tails. However, he gave Itachi a warning. His younger brother was coming after him, and there was no doubt that he would try to eliminate any member of the group that his brother was a part of. Itachi was as calm as ever, not really showing any emotion. Time skip. After a successful retrieval of the 3 tails, Deidara and Tobi was now free once again. However, they were found. Deidara was happy to see who he came across. Deidara had a very deep-seated hatred for the Uchihas, believing that they were some sort of special being or something. From the moment Itachi embarrassed him, he hated Itachi, so to kill his younger brother would be a delight. Sasuke activated Sharingan. However, him and Naruto were the only ones standing there. Sasuke made precautions just in case, and the others were not here. From what Sasuke had seen, Naruto was stronger than all 3 of them, given his fight with the Sannin. However, it has been a few weeks. So far, he has done nothing to show that he was not with the group, that he was not loyal. Sasuke wondered if he was perhaps wrong. Does he really had nothing to do? Does he really join them because he just wanted to? Was that really the reality of things? But that was not important right now. Tell me where Itachi is, and I will think about sparing you. You damn insignificant brat. Always acting like you're some kind of gods just because you were born in that damn clan. I hate you, Uchihas. Deidara said. Sasuke shot forward and slipped his blade through the first one. Deidara jumped away. The second one dropped as Naruto watched him. He gazed up as his Sharingan eye through that mask focused on Naruto. What the hell are you doing, Toby? Get up and stop acting like a fool. This would be your chance to prove that you are something to the organization. Try and kidnap the Nine Tails while I deal with this brat. Alright, senpai. I will try my best, said Toby. Wait, what about your plan? You know, the things that I need to... Don't go saying that all willy-nilly. Be quiet. Sorry, senpai. I apologize, Toby said. Just shut up and take him down. And be useful for once. Alright, senpai. You got it. Damn it, Toby. Deidara said despite Toby agreeing with him. You heard the big man. You're gonna need to go down. Tell me something, said Naruto. What's that? Why with the facade? What do you mean, Toby said. I mean this whole idiot personality thing. You're far much more than that. And I know it. So tell me why the fake facade of acting like a fool. Perhaps you're even greater in the organization than you led them to believe. Maybe that's the whole deal behind the fool facade. I'm afraid Toby doesn't know what you're talking about. Toby just recently joined the organization. Ah, I see. Keeping it even to the bitter end. I suppose eliminating you right now would be a good thing to do, wouldn't you say? Huh, you think you can kill Toby? Many have tried. Your friend a moment ago tried to eliminate Toby, but as you can see, he failed. Toby was shocked as Naruto's feet passed through his face. He had his technique activated the entire time. However, his speed, it was much more than he expected. Just as I expected. You're allowing one to slip right through you. That's a very powerful technique. I suppose you can slay countless with this technique. However, as Naruto started to backtrack. Wow, that was a really fast one. You're stronger than you look, Nine Tails. Yes, I suppose I am. Naruto said as he was smiling, seemingly mimicking Toby's behavior. A happy one. Now it's time for Toby to do his job. Toby! As Toby turned to see Deidara on his bird, releasing many tiny bombs. Do it! But senpai, you told me do it, Toby! Alright, fine. You stay right here. Toby will be back to play with you in a moment. As he sank on the ground. Naruto watched as Sasuke and Deidara fought. Toby's back. Right behind you. As Naruto did not even try to move. He turned calmly. Wow. Nothing scares you, does it? Even when Toby surprised you from behind, you're so calm. I'm really impressed. You should be. So, are we not gonna fight? Or perhaps you just like to talk the entire day? I'll be satisfied with any, said Naruto. You know, it would be much faster if you simply use that Sharingan of yours to try and take control of the Nine Tails inside of me. Or take control of my mind. Why don't you try it and let's see what happens? What are you talking about, said Toby. Come on now, Obito. Stop acting like a fool. A shocked look was written on his face under the mask. Yes, I know who you are. If you can play games, I can as well. Curious how I know. Why don't you come and find out? A violent explosion cut through the field, blowing the both of their cloaks. Neither of them took their eyes off of one another. I suppose you're about to get serious. The voice immediately changed. Well, well, well. You surprised me, Nine Tails, I must say. I wasn't expecting you to know this much. I can hear that much from your tone that you're certain in what you believe. No one else would know of that identity. Absolutely no one. But you are certain in your belief. You tell no lies as you spoke. No hesitation. Well, I aim to not lie that much. So tell me, How do you come across this information? If I tell you, I would have to kill you. Besides, you're not the only one that has a master plan. Granted, I don't really know what your plan is, but I have one as well. Why don't we share it, said Naruto with a smile. But guys, we end episode right here. If you want the next person to do, like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on that bell notifications they posted. But I'm off now, see you guys soon. Peace.